right, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, sneak peek number 1 is here for the August update. And honestly, I can't even lie, this looks like it might actually be a pretty sick update, but looks are often very deceiving when it comes to Marvel Future Fight these days. So I wasn't even gonna cover this sneak peek. I was just gonna wait for the live stream to see if it lives up to my expectation for these uniforms. And of course, Black Knight coming in as a brand new character. Should be interesting to see how powerful, how impactful he is comparatively to how you acquire him, you know what I'm saying? Because we already just had the disaster of a rollout that was Shalawal, no buffs in sight for her, you know what I'm saying? So really sad, but at the same time, I can't help but be excited because I'm a diehard Marvel fan, you know, and I'm also really curious to see what they're going to be doing for Ghost Rider this time around, because as much as I love Ghost Rider, and I am happy to see him get a uniform, because what that means is he's gonna be cheaper, right? Because Ghost Rider currently, his most powerful uniform is a 1750 seasonal uniform that is only here for Halloween. So if you miss that, then you have to wait a whole year to get access to him, or buy a seasonal uniform ticket for money to then buy his uniform. And the seasonal uniform tickets, well, we've only seen it for the anniversary so far, so we don't even know if it's going to come back for Black Friday. But the point is, if Ghost Rider in this new uniform is as good or better than his current uniform, that would be really good. But the current uniform for Ghost Rider is so good that I honestly would have preferred if somebody else from the Savage Avengers had gotten a uniform instead of him. But I'm gonna reserve those thoughts in hopes that they do something crazy with him. Like, for example, they took Storm from being good-ish as a support and nothing else with her seasonal uniform to making her absolutely fantastic, one of the best characters in the game, not only as a support but as a DPS, right? They took her out of that seasonal paywall lock, and made her legitimately one of the best characters in the game, right up there with like Doctor Strange for PvE content, right? Absolutely amazing. Ghost Rider is already at the top of the game for PvE. His biggest problem is his V-pad, which we'll talk about later in the video, right? And he also has PvP viability because he has the undead artifact, and he can pretty much one shot or at least trigger immortality or get one of the revives off of people with his forward skill. So he's just such a fantastic character. So to see him getting a uniform is kind of scary, but excited at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Now, as for Black Knight, I don't know how impactful he's going to be, because I'm looking at Black Knight's history in the comics, and at best, at absolute best, he's like just under Thor. You know what I'm saying? Unless I'm out of the loop. But from what I remember about Black Knight, I can't really put him above Thor. And Thor right now is one of the best PvE characters in the game. No, I shouldn't say PvE. One of the best characters for World Boss, just because he has the leadership tag and he's just really, really good. He's really, really strong. He hits really hard. He's great for GBR, but for World Boss, Thor is undoubtedly one of the best characters in the game. So I'm looking at Black Knight coming in. I don't think he's going to be a PvP character, so you'd have to like be really close to Thor level for people to go out of their way to get him, because more than likely he's going to be like a timeline quest character, and then after that he's going to be like paywall. I don't see him coming in as being a support, but should be interesting to see. Now, as for Dr. Voodoo, his last uniform was not very impactful. And as much as I like Voodoo, you know what I'm saying, unless he is a different sorcerer, different type of Sorcerer Supreme, like for example a PvP version of Doctor Strange, I think most people are going to skip over this uniform. It looks cool. It looks like something out of, like, I don't know, on GTA, like Miami Vice type of deal, right? Cool looking uniform, but I doubt they're going to make him OP. And as for Juggernaut, it's the Juggernaut, bitch. And as much as I love my guy, I don't think you're gonna see much of him outside of AC or Otherworld Battle. Maybe TBA. That's the most I would say, right? I don't want to shit out these uniforms, but I want to set like realistic expectations moving forward, as opposed to just hyping up characters like, yeah, they should do this, and this, and then, you know, the history for the last year and a half has been 5% here, 5% there, moving around the boss. That's really just it, right? We can't really expect anything that wasn't in their kit to be in their kit, as opposed to characters getting uniforms, right? If they have iframe ignore already, cool, more than likely they get to keep it, right? If they have penetration already, cool, they already get to keep, you know, stuff like that. But don't expect anything crazy. Juggernaut's never really been a timeline meta character, right? So I don't really expect him to be that. Now, looking at this, right? Ghost Rider already has tier 4. Dr. Voodoo doesn't. Juggernaut doesn't. Highly doubt Black Knight is going to be a day 1 tier 4. Could happen. But if that's the case, we already have. We would have like, I'm guessing Black Knight might be either combat or universal. You know, but looking at Juggernaut, he's already combat. Voodoo is universal. So I guess they could technically make Black Knight speed. And if they make him speed, his base stats are going to be really low, because speed characters have the lowest base stats out of all the classes. So that would really put him at a disadvantage if he was going to be like a PvP character. But who knows? Maybe they make him a tier 2 native and then sell him for crystals like they did Shallow Ball, and, you know, piss off the community. That way, I'm laughing, but I'm just laughing to hide the pain, right? I'm just thinking, if he is not tier 4able, it's kind of like at this point, all the new characters that people have waited a long time for, like if they come in and they just get tier 3, it's kind of like whatever, right? Because you're not going to be that impactful. You're not going to really play with them that much, because tier 4 exists, and by default a tier 3 or a transcendent character is just going to be weaker than a tier 4. Yeah, so it just doesn't make sense. Anyways, Voodoo should be interesting, hopefully. Ghost Rider, we like Gladiator. Ghost Rider, I know has to be something interesting at the very least, right? Because he's already just so freaking good. Maybe the Gladiator armor is just going to be the armor that takes him into a timeline battle, and that makes it so that he keeps his current place in PvE and then leans more towards PvP. Don't get your hopes up. More than likely it's just going to be 5% here, 5% there, okay? Anyways, yeah, this is what they had to say over on the forums. A relentless pursuit has begun, led by a group of exceptionally formidable heroes. The mere mention of their names and the unified front they present is enough to send shivers down the spines of even the most hardened adversaries. That sounds so sick, bro. Between superhero and supervillain. Check out the new abilities and looks for the Judge of Hell. I'm assuming that's gonna be Ghost Rider, the Voodoo Sorcerer, the Cursed Swordsman, and the Unstoppable Juggernaut. We will provide more information through the update details. So it's gonna be one and done for the sneak peek until the mid-month. And then over here, they gave us another look at the uniforms for Ghost Rider and Juggernaut, basically letting us know that the live stream is going to be on Monday at 6 p.m. PDT, 9 p.m. EST, and the patch is going to drop on Tuesday, rolling into Wednesday. It's going to be absolutely savage. I'll definitely be here to react to the live stream, so if you guys want to, you know, set a reminder and come through with your boy, I'll definitely do that, because Ghost Rider is here and I'm very interested in seeing what they're gonna do for him this time around. Because like looking at Ghost Rider's kit, off the top of my head, I think the only thing that, well, not the only thing, I guess they could give him like reflect immunity or something crazy like that, right? I don't think anybody has reflect immunity in the game, but like he doesn't have accumulation, right? He has the 120 extra juice to super villains. He got a little bit of damage reduction. They'll probably bump this up to like 35 or 40. Looking at this, I don't think they're gonna touch the chains. I don't think so. Looking at the one, I think they should definitely do something. I want them to keep the V-pad, but I cannot tell you how many times I've actually been trapped in Ghost Rider's VPAD skill when I'm fighting like Black Dwarf or something, because like it's so slow, right? And it pulls you towards the enemy when you want to move away, right? Right here, it doesn't really do what I wanted to do right here in the VPAD to show you guys. But if you've played with him, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're trying to move freaking right and he's dragging you left, and then you end up not being able to get to the ether, and then you end up having to restart your run if it's a high level, because you need to actually bang and hit all of them ether drops so you get maximum amount of damage. But yeah, I wanted to keep a VPAD. They can even leave it on the second skill, a skill that's outside of his regular rotation for damage. Just give him a better VPAD, that would be cool. And I think besides that, damage accumulation, right? Because he don't really have that. Let me just double check, because I'm pretty sure he doesn't have damage accumulation. Yeah, they'll probably bump up the chain hit till 15% and call it good, because Ghost Rider is already in a really, really good place. He's one of my favorite characters in this freaking game to play, bro. It took several uniforms to get him good. King of Hell was okay, but like these were like so bad. I remember, man, jeez, the struggle fest that was playing with Ghost Rider before. He honestly got one of the greatest glow ups in Marvel Future Fight history, man. Up there with Storm. Storm's glow up is actually insane. Juggernaut, oh boy. He has iframe ignoring this kid, so at the very least he's gonna be useful to me for AC. So I can see myself tier 4ing him, despite knowing that they're not going to do as much for him. But Juggernaut is one of those characters that I grew up loving as a kid, and I like the fact that not only does he have passive healing, but he also has another heal, which is not something that you often see from these characters like Wolverine that have a heal in their kit. Usually they don't get another active skill that gives them a heal, right? So it's really rare when you see that. And because of his artifact, he might actually be pretty tacky if they do him right. You know what I'm saying? 40%. He has a lot of damage reduction, you know. So he might actually be. Look at that, with a 30%. You know what? I could see myself tier 4ing my guy. Yeah, man. I could see myself. I'm gonna definitely put him on the list as one to tier 4, assuming they don't take away his iframe ignore. I could see myself using him in Otherworld Battle, possibly TBA. You know, hopefully he has super guard break on these new skills. Like, that will be good. You know what I'm saying? He has guard break, but like one skill with super guard break, ideally the iframe ignore skill would be very beneficial for me. Voodoo though, yeah, I don't know. I highly doubt this guy is gonna be good. As much as I like Dr. Voodoo, the most he's ever been was like a debuff leadership at a time when we could abuse this for world boss to apply defense down and do cheeky shit like that. And he's decent as a leader for dispatch and stuff if you have on like a low end account. But besides that, yeah, I don't see us getting much for this guy. So it's pretty much gonna be Ghost Rider and Juggernaut carrying this update for me so far. Well, I guess can't forget Black Knight, but unless he gets tier 4, right, and then it's more likely gonna be like people are not gonna be happy. But we'll see. Anyways, ladies and gents, leave me your thoughts in the comments, and we will catch you in the next one. Peace.